and wear the toga of Nigeria. Whoever is affected should not be our concern, but we must salvage our country. We must salvage ourselves. We must begin to go home freely. We must find solutions to ensure that Nigerians sleep with their two eyes closed. Firstly, let me suggest that the time has come for us to start looking at having a national border force. We should. When we hear countries talk about fencing their borders, sometimes we laugh over it. It sounds funny. But it is not. We do not have a border force in Nigeria. And I think it is our role as parliamentarians to quickly, as a solution, come up with a bill and ensure that that bill passes with the speed of light to begin to protect our borders. Not just by physical protection. Like I said, the world is a global village today. There are technologies that will help us. A border force that is based on technology.
Honorable David, please can you find your seat? Honorable David, Kalambaina. Honorable Badao, please can you find your seats? Honorable Gadi, please find your seat. Honorable Gadi, please.
We also have before us the constitution amendment that is going on. Security is prominent. My dear colleagues, we don't have an option than to go back to community policing or state policing. We must begin to secure our country from every community. From every community. And as a parliament, we must also begin to rise to our oversight functions. We must begin to stand our grounds. The interest of our people.
Honorable Sada, Honorable Zainab Gimba, please can you approach the chair?
And our own interest. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, a lot more on the issue of insecurity, which we cannot perhaps say facing the camera. So let us invite all the security chiefs, all, and have a closed-door meeting with them, where we can clearly talk to them, tell them the feelings of Nigerian people, ask for facts and figures, take decisions that will have strong legislative backing. You will recall that in the past, we have had to give timelines. But I will say, as a member of parliament, that my heart is heavy. Leads for Nigeria. Not happy. I see it as divine that we are all called to serve at this time. Because I asked why. Why at this time? But we are called to serve at this time, and we should take the challenge. We have the ability. We have the ability to solve this problem. We have the ability to make the difference. But we must remove tribe, religion, selfishness, pride, and anything that will prevent us from succeeding.
Honorable Wase.
And see ourselves as one.
Honorable Wase.
I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank you, my dear colleagues, for this opportunity. And I pray that the Almighty God will give us the wisdom to ensure that we contribute towards stabilizing this country and indeed the world at large. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chinda. It's time for the Deputy Speaker to make his contribution.
Thank Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Benjamin Okezekal. I represent the good people of Nigeria, starting from Ben, the federal constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Abia State. I rise today to lend my voice to this all-important debate.
Honorable Igarue, Honorable Inolim, please approach the chair.
This all-important debate on the security situation of our country. Let me start by thanking you, Mr. Speaker, for always being innovative, and the leadership of this House for being innovative when issues like this come up, to think about having a section like this where all of us will be heard. Granting us this platform, I thank you very much. And I thank the members for agreeing for one day of our section to be dedicated to this, and for coming in your numbers from your various constituencies. It goes to show that the Parliament truly cares. But today, honorable colleagues and Nigerians who are watching, it's not a day of display of eloquence. This is a day of specifically mentioning where our problems are, what we think should be done as Parliament. Because we have always argued that the Parliament remains the solution hub for our nation. And so, as you all know, Nigerian security crisis as it is at the moment demands urgent action. And I've been able to put down one or two things so that I will not forget in my presentation. I also save time for some of you who want to deliberate on this. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, it is my core finding, and I'm sure that of others, that Nigeria possesses strong deterrent laws. We don't have paucity of laws, we have strong laws. But what we suffer is weak institutional implementation, inadequate funding, transparency, and misalignment between policy and execution. So the solution requires structural legislative reform, not merely reactive military responses. Since we are not in the military, we are legislative arm of government. We must prefer legislative solution to the gaps that we have observed. Mr. Speaker, I will break my speech into these parts. Number one is situational analysis, which I will break into escalating internal threats as well as external sovereign threats. The next one is legislative gap and strategic failures that we have. The third will be priority legislative agenda, what we need to do in the next 6 months as Parliament. And the next will be what are the messaging pillars that I would like to pass as a member of Parliament. And finally, I would like to address possible challenges and arguments that will be against my position on these issues. I promise to make them as brief as possible. On situational analysis, Mr. Speaker, or situational assessment, we have multidimensional security crisis. And on the side of escalating internal threats, we have on one hand banditry and kidnapping. Number one, indiscriminate kidnapping targeting schools, places of worship, and communities across Zamfara, Katsina, Kebbi, and Sokoto states, amongst others. Recent incidents, abduction of schoolgirls in Kebbi, dozens of worshippers kidnapped from Zungu Mosque in Zamfara, Catholic priests abducted in Anambra in Southeast. Number three on that is critical development. Armed groups now imposing parallel governance structure, demanding 100 million naira in taxes from communities in Safe, local government of Zamfara state, representing a shift from criminality to insurgent administrative control. On international scrutiny, the US designated Nigeria as country of particular concern, the CPC, which have been mentioned here and again, and also beautifully in your speech. The proposed Nigerian Religious Freedom Accountability Act by the US, Congress threatens sanction against Nigeria. targeting mainly 12 northern governors and all the rest of them. The news is everywhere. Let us talk about institutional weakness as part of the assessment. Nigerian police force is constrained by centralized command, inadequate funding, and lack of accountability. Number 2 is military modernization, drones.
Still on insecurity, we're going back now to the session on security at the House of Reps, where the Deputy Speaker, House of Reps, Benjamin Kalu, is still speaking. Let's take a look.
Policing model failure. Federal-only policing model cannot meet diverse localized security needs of 36 states and 774 local governments, Mr. Speaker. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Whether we call it state police, whether we call it community police, whether we call it local government police, the need to decentralize has become very necessary. Some argue for the amendment of Section 214 of the Constitution and the second schedule. Some say leave it as it is. Whatever it is important that we consider that. The next is critical sequencing. State police reform must allow Nigerian police force accountability reform to avoid replicating dysfunctional structure at the state level. The next is drone warfare regulatory lag. Nigeria's military successfully deploys indigenous Amebo Gulma and foreign CH-4 combat drones. They've done that successfully for precision strike. But there is, Mr. Speaker, today, no legal framework governing ethical use, accountability for civilian casualties or operational transparency. There is none, sir. It's one of the legislative gaps that we must look at. And the risk is that potential human rights violations expose Nigeria to international legal scrutiny and undermine tactical gains. What then is the legislative solution that is required? We should enact comprehensive UAS operations and oversight act, known as Drone Act, mandating compliance with international targeting laws, accountability mechanisms, and independent investigation of civilian casualty incidents. That is how we can solve that problem. Let me go to my number 3 because I say it's 5 before I round up. The number 3 is priority legislative agenda. What do we need to do in our phase 1 between now and 6 months? What is the foundation of what we need to do? What is the crisis response that the parliament need to look into? Number 1 is anti-banditry resolution. So legally prohibit ransom negotiation and mandate criminal justice process over amnesty programs. The key provisions are as follows, Mr. Speaker. Number 1, criminal penalties for government officials who negotiate ransom or authorize unstructured amnesty deals. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, is mandate prosecution through criminal justice system for all banditry suspects. Number 3, establish transparent critical criteria for any future disarmament. There is no criteria for disarmament, for demobilization and reintegration program, following proper conflict resolution protocol, not ad hoc political deals. We need to also create parliamentary oversight committee to monitor implementation. Mr. Speaker, we cannot negotiate with those who kidnap our children. Mr. Speaker, those who terrorize our community, we should not negotiate with them. That is the truth. Mr. Speaker, the next is police reform. Number 1, the objective is to ensure transparent, predictable Nigerian police force funding and regulate state-private donation. Move policing to concurrent lease if this House so decide, enabling state and local government to have a say there. And in doing that, we should provide safeguards to be able to guide that. Mr. Speaker, I say so because a police force that cannot plan beyond the next paycheck cannot protect this nation. This new plan guarantees our police the predictable, transparent funding that they need while ensuring every naira is accounted for. State police is not a silver bullet, Mr. Speaker. It is a necessary evolution of our federal system, and we should be looking at that decentralization. These are the core message of my suggestion, Mr. Speaker. The core message pillars. Number one is legislative leadership, not reactive politics. For too long, the National Assembly has been viewed as reactive on security matters. Today, we assert our constitutional role as the primary lawmaking body of this nation. These measures represent proactive, structured reform, not political theater. Sovereignty with accountability. Nigeria will never cede sovereignty to external actors, but sovereignty also demands responsibility. We will protect our citizens, prosecute perpetrators, demonstrate to the world that Nigeria solves Nigerian problem. From militarized response to institutional reform, Mr. Speaker, drones and jets have their place, but no amount of military hardware can substitute for accountable policing, for transparent funding, and for criminal justice system that actually delivers justice. The legislative agenda addresses root causes, not just symptoms. Mr. Speaker, there will be the argument as I round up. Many will say state police will be abused by governors. Let me respond by saying that is exactly why we are building in safeguards into this law, if we choose to do that. Many will say banning amnesty negotiation is too rigid. My response, Mr. Speaker, is show me one amnesty deal in Zamfara, Katsina, Sokoto, Southeast, wherever in Nigeria that has produced lasting peace. What we have seen are staged ceremonies, rusty weapons surrendered, violence resuming within months. Security experts across the spectrum argue negotiating with bandits legitimizes criminality. This act doesn't prevent disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration program. It ensures they follow proper protocol, not ad hoc political deal. As I round up finally, these reforms are expensive. That will be the argument of some of you, of my members. I will respond by saying the cause of insecurity far exceeds the cost of reform. Kidnapping, insurance premium, lost agricultural output, displaced population, closed schools, insecurity is bleeding this economy dry. Moreover, this agenda mandates transparency auditing, meaning we will finally know where security funds are actually going. Efficiency, not just expenditure. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Thank you, honorable members, for listening.
Thank you, the Deputy Speaker. The next to speak will be Honorable Baba Jimmy Benson. At this point, we are kickstarting the committee-led thematic presentations with the Committee on Defense by Honorable Baba Jimmy Benson. After him, Honorable Satome will speak for national security. Then Honorable Mikey will speak for police. Honorable Aminu will speak for Army. Navy will be Honorable Gadi. Air Force will be Honorable Alasan. And Justice, I think, who is speaking for Justice? Honorable Oshoba. That's okay. So please, it will go on in that order. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. But let me begin by commending Mr. Speaker's vision, leadership, and unwavering commitment to the safety of the nation. Mr. Speaker, indeed, we live in very interesting times. It was America who created the word VUCA. So we live in a VUCA world. VUCA means volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Mr. Speaker, today, I rise not as the Chairman, House Committee on Defense, but I rise as the voice of millions of Nigerians who yearn for and rightly deserve a nation that is safe, hopeful, united, and prosperous. Mr. Speaker, if you recall the days of yore, the Nigerian military has excelled in many different fronts, including Liberia, including Sierra Leone. We went into those countries with full force and with a full arsenal that were purchased under the regime of President Shagari. I repeat, we went with a full arsenal. We went, we saw, and we conquered. But we did something that no nation would ever do. We were honest. We went there to assist our sister nations. We did not stay to milk and make money out of their predicament. Mr. Speaker, what most nations do, they recoup and they replace their equipment that they've expended in those countries. Nigeria didn't do that. So we are suffering from the decay of trying to replace those equipment till date. It's been a very difficult and onerous task. We have not had friends, indeed, who will support us build the arsenal we had in the days of yore. Mr. Speaker, across the borders of our country, as a result of that, we also have issues from the Sahel region.
Order, please.
We also have issues from the Sahel region. France has left the Sahel countries and there are no boots on the ground there. Those were the armed forces of France used to prevent ISWAP and other extremists from strolling into Nigeria. They are out of that place now. And the countries there are run by military juntas. That's a big problem. We also have the problem of Libya. Ever since Gaddafi has been deposed, Libya has been in a sorry state. Light weapons and heavy-duty weapons have had a free-flow influx into Nigeria, thus exacerbating the original huge problems that we're facing. Mr. Speaker, but despite all these threats, with our strategic leadership, our growing strong institutions, and ongoing reforms, which include, as we speak, there's a grand plan to improve the welfare of the police and the armed forces. As we are here today, there's a committee set up to look into the institutions, the security architecture and institutions, the police barracks, the training institutions. That committee is led by no other than the governor of Enugu State. It's work in progress, Mr. Speaker. Again, the economy, we're hoping to grow our economy into a $1 trillion economy. The process is on. Our exchange rate is stable, our external reserve is growing, but we have frailties.
Honorable Gumi, please approach the chair.
We have frailties which has to do with security. Our security infrastructure, no doubt, needs to be stepped up in order for us to attain the eminence that our good qualities offer. Mr. Speaker, though a bullet can overcome a terrorist, only good governance, opportunity, and inclusion can overcome terrorism. Mr. Speaker, no doubt, we must begin to strengthen intelligence and early warning systems. We must begin with actionable intelligence. No modern security system succeeds without the ability to detect threats before they escalate. The House, with its committee, is working on this. The House is working on strengthening the coordination between the DIA, the DSS, the police, the NIA, and state security units. The House is working assiduously to establish regional intelligence fusion centers. across the 6 geopolitical zones. The House is in support of the deployment of modern surveillance technologies, drones, sensors, and data analytics. We are proud of the meeting with the NSA and the trip to America. Tangible results have been gotten. The American government, as said by our NSA, has signed an MOU with our country to assist in providing actionable intelligence towards eradicating these bandits. Mr. Speaker, security is won not only when information flows seamlessly and rapidly, but when the information is used to take action. In this decade, research results from leading domestic and global security scholars have provided vital information in Nigeria towards peace. Evidence from such studies conclude that 80% of terrorist attacks in Nigeria occur in 3 locations: schools, religious centers, and in farms. Categorizing all schools, religious centers, and farms in each local government area based on their current and projected vulnerability is now a minimum requirement. A risk assessment, low, medium, or high risk of this location must now be a priority. It is something that the House and the Parliament should also ensure is done. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, reforming and repositioning the Nigerian police. Our Nigerian military is not overstretched. The responsibilities of the Nigerian military are overstretched. It is time to restore the police to its rightful place as the first line of internal defense. The House Committee on Defense and other committees will collaborate with the Committee on Police to advance legislation for community and state policing with strong oversight. Modernizing the armed forces. Our military remains courageous and resilient, but they must be armed not only with bravery, but with modern tools. We must immediately invest in modern warfare tools. We must immediately partner with our non-aligned friends, with America, with the EU, with China, with Pakistan.
Honorable Koko, you have been elevated to come and sit on Speaker's seat here. Honorable Koko, you have been elevated, promoted. This is your new seat now.
Let us never forget, security is not about
very well.
Security is not about how we spend on defense, but about ensuring every citizen
come over here.
feels safe in their home, their marketplace.